Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Bommer number CL4040-6-600. This is a single acting spring hinge in the 6-inch size by Bommer with ball tips, okay, and a prime coat finish. Let's dissect the part number. CL, first of all, differentiates this hinge from the others because it has these decorative ball tips. Okay, 4040 infers that the hinge is a single acting spring hinge. The -6 is a reference to the size. And there is a link below this video to the template which shows everything important dimensionally about the hinge. Let's go over that now. You can see from that template that this hinge is indeed 6-inch tall, at least the leaf height is 6-inch tall. It has an overall height of 8 3/4, but since that template has all of the dimensions listed there, we won't beleaguer all those points in this video. But also, referring to the template, you can see that they draw out all of the locations of the screw holes as well. That will help you determine if this is the proper replacement for what it is that you're working on. Okay. The -600 means that it is in the prime coat finish, just a gray primer intended to be painted, and is available in several different finishes: brasses, bronze colors, chromes, zinc plated, black japanned. Okay. Now, the installation instructions also are listed below this video, and let's go over those now. First of all, the hinge can be used for left-hand or right-hand doors without changing the appearance of what it is that you're working on. So, if you have a pair of doors, okay, you can, for the opposite side door, you can simply turn this over, okay. In the case of, this sort of hinge, what they're really referring to is you've got two different leaves. Okay, and if you wanted to have this leaf on the non-fixed flange appear to be going outwards or inwards on a double door, you might want to turn the hinge over. It may not be an issue to you at all. Okay. The fixed collar can be identified by the pin placed in the collar to hold the hinge open while installing the hinge to the door in the jamb. That is going to be a reference to this pin that's here. Okay, so the fixed collar is identified by the tension pin placed in the collar to hold the hinge open. This is what they're referring to. Now, this hinge ships, and it's going to look just like this when it comes to you, under preset tension, and it's open to this degree so that they specifically allow you access with your screwdriver to get the hinges attached via the screws that are included. Here are the screws. When it's a prime coat hinge, they'll sometimes send screws that are just, chrome color because the intention is that it's going to be painted. Now, you'll be able to get the door hung, the hinges attached, and your door is going to be open at least, whatever that is, 75 degrees. Okay. Now, as they say, do not try to close the door with tension pin when the tension pin is placed in the fixed collar. That cotter pin or tension pin is keeping the hinge from springing closed. So you're going to want to get the entire door hung in the state that it's in. Once it's attached, you'll be able to open the door, say to 90 degrees. Then, moving forward, after installation, open door to 90 degree and then remove tension pin. Door will close under the preset tension, which is accomplished via this tension pin. Okay. Additional tension can be addressed in the bottom third of the installation instructions. If additional tension is desired, put tension rod into the tension collar and turn 1 or 2 holes further as shown. Then insert the tension pin back into the collar. So what they're saying is, a piece of steel like this is going to be included. You'll insert it into the tension collar and turn it clockwise if the tension collar is pointed up. When you do that, you reveal additional holes there. Okay, only 1 or 2 additional holes is all they're saying that you should be doing. Okay, because that's a tremendous amount of tension that's on there. So I could take that silver pin now and literally pull it out. It will fall right out. And I would then move it into one of those newly revealed holes. Again, not more than 1 or 2 holes beyond that. Once you've got it at that point, you're going to be in real good shape. Now, they're showing it drawn here at the bottom that the hinge and the orientation as it comes from the factory will be for a left-hand door. So if you're going to want to reverse that for a right-hand door, you're going to flip it over and then turn your tension collar counterclockwise naturally. Okay? Really nice quality hinge by Bommer. And the fact that it ships out under preset tension makes it a bit unusual, but once you read the installation instructions and give thought to that, you realize, okay, that's the only way that it really can be. It needs to be shipped out that way, because you've got half of this hinge that's already set under tension. Now, this hinge, the CL4040s, for some reason, when I'm in New York City is where I always see these, or in the greater New York City area. I don't know what the history is of Bommer in that geographical area for these hinges, but they're literally everywhere there. And lo and behold, this client happens to be in Maspeth, New York, which is there. Now, how many hinges should you use on a door is a very common question. Below this video is the extended description to the entire item, which shows 125-pound maximum door weight, or 3 foot, go with 2 hinges. 155-pound or up to 4 foot, go with 3 hinges. Now, I'm a fan of all spring hinges. Even when it says 2, or, you know, you think you might be able to get away with 1, or you think you might be able to get away with 2, I opt to go 1 extra, or put all spring hinges on the door. The reasoning is because in my experience, having installed these hinges multiple times, and having gone to perform maintenance on them and readjustment, I have found a much greater amount of success when I've got more spring hinges sharing the load, okay, versus having less spring hinges doing the job. I liken it to a tugboat. A tugboat doesn't drive or go very fast, but it can pull a very heavy load. When the door is in the closed position, there's no stored energy really in the spring whatsoever. But when the door gets open, now you've got stored energy. The problem when you have not enough spring hinges doing the job is that the door certainly must overcome the weight of the door, moving the door from basically a dead stop, overcoming all that air pressure, then overcoming, let's say, the friction of the latch bolt hitting the strike plate, and then having enough stored energy at the very last 5 or 10 degrees of the closing cycle to actually get the door into a latched position. And it's that very final closing cycle where I have found that having spring power, let's say, on reserve via having all spring hinges, let's say, allows me to set the tension evenly across those springs, have enough residual energy, stored energy, to get the door closed, without having to set the tension on the springs so high, or get the door moving through the closing cycle so fast that the door, you know, is prone to slamming. So it's in that sort of experience where I have found having more spring hinges really makes it a more predictable sort of installation. Then you also have to contend with maybe what could be changing air pressures. You might have conditions in the summer that are different in the winter. You might have doors or windows open, you know, in the summer and not in the winter. So adjusting it for the winter is not going to work real well for summer conditions when there's air coming through the building. So if you've got spring power on reserve, you're much more likely to have satisfactory results with using a spring hinge. Where I see these hinges all the time are in hotels, on the floors of the hotels. They're mechanical room or custodial doors. I've seen these everywhere, especially in that part of the country. Great quality company Bommer is, there's no doubt. Last thing I'd like to point out to you, if we can see that, will be the Bommer logo. And right above it, it says Made in USA, a fact that Bommer is quite proud of, as am I to represent them. If you have any questions on the Bommer number CL4040-6-600 single acting spring hinge, or any other Bommer product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.